Oh, good morning everybody, and I've got to have my morning coffee. Can't exist without coffee. And we've got the cat has joined us. You can't see her, but you might be able to see her soon when she comes over to get me to let her out. So yeah, I said that I was going to tell you about my 6 favourite bike rides in North Yorkshire for anyone who is thinking of bringing their bike to Yorkshire for a week's cycling, or indeed anyone who lives locally who hasn't done these rides and wants some ideas for quite nice rides to do. Well, more than quite nice, they're actually amazing, really stunning. So the first ride, which soon you'll be able to see links to at the bottom of the screen, it's on 2 of my videos that I recorded. I recorded actually on bonfire night or bonfire day last November, so it's on my old bike, the hybrid bike, and got some really nice autumn colours. There goes the cat. Yeah, it's from Thirsk. Now Thirsk is up the A19 from York, so it's very accessible if you're staying in the York area or you live locally. And you can park in the massive car park at Thirsk. You can park there free on Sundays and bank holiday Mondays, or you could at least at the time of making this video. And I'll describe the route bit by bit in a moment. And I'm also going to post up a Strava map of the route, so you can map out the route on your own Strava app if you have a Strava app. The great thing about Strava app is you can map out your routes under My Routes, and it lets you know how long it is, the total height gain, and where the hills are, and how steep they are, well, how tough they are really. So you get a good idea of the terrain before you go with no nasty surprises. It's also good because then when you start the cycle ride, you go into My Routes on Strava and you click the follow my route or follow this route, it's something like that, and that's great because you can it literally takes you along the route that you've mapped out. So if you're unsure of a turning, you just check it out and it'll tell you if you're going the wrong way or not. I mean, it's been really useful for me when I've been cycling places that I don't know very well and I've taken a wrong turn. So, got to have some coffee. I've got a coffee machine here on my desk. It's brilliant. There's the coffee grains everywhere, all over the desk. So, everything for this map is on this Ordnance Survey map. Always a good idea to take a map with you, or you can, if you've got modern Ordnance Survey maps, you can download a mobile version onto your phone, which is also a good thing to take with you so you don't get lost. So yeah, that's it really. I'll describe the route in a moment. It's a good route to do when you arrive for your week's cycling, and you want to warm up because basically the first part of this ride it's a warm up, then it takes you up a hill. That's really about the only major hill on the ride. There's there's minor hills, but that's the one that'll get you puffing and panting probably, and then after that it's kind of quite easy going with a few hills until you skirt the north side of Northallerton. You don't actually go anywhere near Northallerton as such, you're still in the countryside, but you're bypassing it, you're going right around the top. And once you've done that, it's a fairly easy ride back to Thirsk, unless the wind is blowing towards you, as it is prone to do. It's really good because it takes you through a lot of the country where the Channel 5 series, the Yorkshire Vet, is filmed. So you will actually go past an alpaca farm, which I think is the one that I've seen on the Yorkshire Vet, and also there's by the railway line, when you cross the railway line for the first time, there's sheep farm that once featured on the Yorkshire Vet, with some very strange looking sheep with curly hair, black sheep with curly hair. So yeah, enjoy the routes. Right, sorry about that, coffee break. This ride is 36 miles long. The total height gain is about 1,600 feet. I'm looking at my Strava app on the screen here. And last time I did this, it took me 4 hours. So yeah, last time I did this was in July, during the warm weather. Right, so I'll just take you through the cycle ride next. So what you're doing is you're parking at Thirsk in the large car park, and you come out of the car park and turn left. It's a one-way system, you have no choice but to go left, and it takes you round to a little mini roundabout where you turn left up the A61. This bit here, there's a cycle path which is actually off the main road, so that's quite handy. Just cycle along there. You have to join the road again about here at South Kilvington, where you turn right and you cross the busy A19 by a bridge, you'll be glad to know, and you kind of snake around a bit, and around about here there's quite a steep hill taking you to Upsall. It's like I said before, it's probably the only hill really that'll get you puffing and panting. It is a bit of a steep hill, and at the top of it you're turning left, going through Upsall village, which is just after there's a kind of school churchy building on the left. So you're going up here, that's uphill, come to the top of the summit about here, and then you trundle along following this until you get to a crossroads where you go straight ahead until you come to a T-junction here. This particular bit here is a lovely little section. You cross a tiny little bridge over the river, and there's usually chickens and ducks hanging around on the lane, very pretty, and you cycle along this tiny little lane along the stream, very pretty. And there's a bit of a hill up here where you go underneath the busy A19 to Borrowby. So there's a bit of a hill there, and Borrowby itself is a bit of a hill, so you're going through Borrowby up the aptly named long lane that becomes a high lane. You're crossing the crossroads here, going straight ahead, wiggling around until you get to this T-junction. It looks like it could be straight ahead here, but that bit's a no-3 road, so you're turning left and you're heading off downhill. There's a village hall about here. You're heading across the beck, carry on until you get to a left-hand turn. It's just a small lane. There's a church here, so you're turning left here, and then it goes round the bend at a farm, and it goes quite gradually uphill here. There's a bungalow halfway up, and you get to a T-junction. Left takes you to a no-3 road, so you really have to turn right, and you head along this fairly flat lane until you get to there's a pub on the left here, and you're going straight on at this junction, and it takes you uphill down Dale to a junction with the A684. You cross that carefully, go straight over and head into Brompton itself. You're not actually going into the centre of Brompton village, you're going straight on, which takes you over the river, over the railway line at a level crossing, and you just head on straight up here, ignoring that turn on the right, until you get to a T-junction with the busy A167. Be careful here because it can be busy, and you need to go down the A617 very slightly before turning right, just past a sort of churchy type building there. This is a lane that takes you to another T-junction where you turn right, and you're heading towards Danby Wisk, which takes you over the river, over the railway line, until you get to Danby Wisk, where there's a pub and a nice village green where with a lot of benches so you can sit and have your lunch. It's a really good break. And then at Danby Wisk you're turning left and you're heading off down this rather long lane to Yafforth. This is a fantastic lane to cycle along. It's relatively flat, relatively easy going, nice and narrow, very pretty. I love this particular section. And then when you get to Yafforth, you cross the B6271 and just go through the village to join this road here, where you come to a T-junction just past the village and you turn right. And then after a short while, probably about quarter of a mile, half a mile, you're turning right down a bridleway, which is tarmacked, which is heading towards an equestrian centre, and there's a cafe there as well. It's signposted on this road, so you're turning down there, and just beyond the equestrian centre it becomes an unmade road, so this particular section can be a bit muddy in winter, but it's doable. You might need to push your bike along it if you've got a road bike. But anyway, it comes out to a T-junction with a lane where you turn left to Frintoft, and then there's another pub here as well, about there I think, and you're turning left again to Ainderby Steeple, which brings you up to a junction here with the A684, so take care going through Ainderby Steeple on the A684, and when you pass the church on the left, there's a right-hand turn downhill, a tiny little lane which is easily missed, so look out for it, and you're heading off down to Wallaby. And then the next section is quite easy going. There's a few hills along this bit, but this is quite easy going. You're basically at the T-junction, you're turning right and you're just carrying straight on down this road, but when you get to here, look out for a right turn to Mornby, and then there's a turn here towards Thirsk. If you end up in Mornby village, you can't really go any further, it's a dead end, so there's a pub there that serves coffees and stuff, so maybe stop off there. You're heading on down towards Kirby Wisk, which is a pretty little village, heading on through that until you get to a T-junction with the A167 where you turn right, and then you take the first left. I don't know whether it's pronounced Newsham or Newsham, but anyway, that's where you're going, and it takes you eventually over the railway line, all the way back to Thirsk. What you're doing is you're turning off just opposite the Thirsk racecourse here, which takes you past the cemetery and wiggles around past the church away, and when you get to the B road, just turn left and then almost immediately right to go back to the car park. And there you have it.